Cyclone.
The top story tonight, Cyclone Burevi has made landfall in the eastern coast of Sri Lanka. Chaturanga Haporaj joins us from the Weather Centre.
Thank you, Muad. As you saw in the headline, Cyclone Burevi has made landfall. That is the latest update we have from the Met Department. However, the exact location as to where the cyclone has made landfall has not been confirmed as yet from the Met Department, because we received the information that this has made landfall only a short while ago. Initially, earlier on in the day, what was reported was that between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. this will make landfall, but around 6:30 to 7 p.m. what was said that it will take another 1 to 2 hours for an initial report to come out stating and confirming rather that this has made landfall, and that is the confirmation we have now. We can officially now say that Burevi has made landfall. However, it will take more time to confirm as to where this has entered Sri Lanka from, and thereafter the process that will follow, and especially the impact of this particular cyclone, especially to the northern province, the eastern province, the north central province, the central province and the western province. Now, from what we know at the moment, what has been reported thus far is that Burevi has made landfall, will make landfall from the northeastern province, and from the initial unconfirmed reports, that is what has happened, it has made landfall through the northeastern province inwards to the country, and the Met Department noted that it will move from this area towards the Mannar area and move out towards the south of India thereafter. However, this will take till morning tomorrow. This may not be the early morning hours, however it may also be the morning hours, especially leading up to about 9 a.m. in the morning. That is what the information that we have say at the moment. The Met Department issued their latest release a short while ago. It says cyclonic storms Burevi over the southwest Bay of Bengal lay centered near, and they have made the location has been stated. However, that location has now changed towards the island. The system is very likely to move west northwards and cross northeastern coast of Sri Lanka between Trincomalee and Point Pedro in this area close to Mullaitivu, and the cyclonic storm with wind speeds up to 80 to 90 kilometers, gusting up to 100 kilometers per hour, is very likely to move nearly westwards thereafter. Now, this has been the update with regard to how this transpired, how this impacted these particular areas, especially in this region. Our reporters were sent out to capture footage from these particular areas, and we are able to get them to you to see how this impacted the area residents of these particular provinces throughout the day today, and what it was like to them. We are going to initially speak to Senitha Senanayaka, who is located in the Trincomalee area. They were there from this morning. They were trying to figure out what was happening and report it to us. Senitha, what is the situation, the latest situation there now? What is it looking like?
Today has not been the best day for the city of Trincomalee. As you can see, since morning it has been raining heavily to this area. However, fortunately, by the afternoon, the showery conditions sort of reduced, but unfortunately it picked its pace back up again. By the evening, until now, it has been raining heavily non-stop. Now, other than that, we're experiencing strong winds as well, very strong winds, and the oceans could not get any rougher. Now, according to the authorities, more than 1,500 families have voluntarily evacuated from high-risk zones to safe locations, and about 250 families have already been evacuated to relief centers. And as you know, the city of Trincomalee, along with the East Coast, is facing this cyclone in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, and we have gotten reports that the authorities have taken the necessary precautions to establish relief centers for people who have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the authorities also warn the people of this area to be vigilant, remain indoors, stay in safe locations. Please stay in safe locations, because the next 2 hours won't be the easiest to get by. With Shamindra Ratnayak, I'm Senitha Senanayaka reporting for News First.
That was Senitha. Now we draw your attention to some of the visuals captured, especially in the northern province, to get an understanding of what the situation was this afternoon leading up to the information that we have received right now that Burevi has actually made landfall. This was during the evening hours in the northern province where visuals were captured. This is what it looked like this evening. And northern province, north central province, eastern province, northwestern province, western province, central province and the Sabaragamuwa provinces have all been declared as areas that should be vigilant about the heavy showers and the heavy strong winds that is experienced in the area. Now, what will this cyclone do? What is its impact? We are going to have a look at the cyclone's impact and what it's actually going to do to Sri Lanka.
Storm with a wind speed of 80 to 90 kilometers per hour, gusting up to 100 kilometers per hour, is very likely to move nearly westward thereafter and emerge into the Gulf of Mannar by tomorrow morning. The storm surge of about 1 meter height above the astronomical tide is likely to inundate low-lying coastal areas extending from Trincomalee to Kankasanture and Punanir to Puttalam. The Department of Meteorology said the storm will bring very strong gusty winds of 80 to 100 kilometers per hour in the northern, north central, eastern, northwestern, western, central, Sabaragamuwa both today and tomorrow. In the advisory for rainfall, the Met Department predicts intermittent showers at many places with very high showers exceeding 200 millimeters in the northern, north central, eastern and northwestern provinces today. Heavy rainfall of over 100 millimeters is predicted over the other provinces with 50 millimeter of rainfall in the southern province. Authorities have requested fishing and naval communities to refrain from setting out to sea.
Earlier on in the day, this is what the Director General at the Department of Meteorology, Atula Karunaayaka, had to say.
When the cyclone makes landfall in the island, we may witness the sea coming towards the land. Do not worry that it's a tsunami. After cyclone makes landfall, it is highly likely that it will move across the island. At such a point, rainy conditions in the north, east, northwest and north central provinces will enhance. Wind speeds may exceed 90 kilometers per hour. We urge the public to refrain from using electronic equipment and to stay indoors.
එලිමහනේ රැඳෙන්න එපා මේ වැසි තියෙන වෙලාවේ ඊළඟට විද්‍යුත් උපාංග පේන වලින් ගලවලා ඉවත් කරන්න ලෝහමේ ද්‍රව්‍ය අඩංගු භාණ්ඩ වලින් වැඩ කටයුතු වල නියැලෙන්න එපා කියලා අපි ජනතාවට මතක්.
Especially with the cyclone making landfall now, the attention is now on how prepared are we with regard to facing the impact of Cyclone Burevi. Now, we spoke to the Director General of the Disaster Management Centre, Major General Sudanta Ranasinghe, about this, and this is what he had to say.
So we have been doing our preparation from last week of November. We had done our preparation for northeastern monsoon. Because of that, it was preparation for Burevi did not become very difficult for us. We have already started evacuation of people. Safety centers have been earmarked. People have been already moved into safety centers. I know Trincomalee, we just heard over 1,600 people have been moved, and similarly Mullaitivu, Mannar, Batikolo. So my advice for people is, it's just one night. Be safe, take care of yourself, stay in your safety center, don't move around to watch things, don't move around to see what's happening. We will make sure that whatever losses happen on the cyclone will be paid for. The government of Sri Lanka will look after that.
Now, that being the case with the DMC and the preparations that have been made with regard to the disaster management in the country, we are going to draw your attention to the western province as well, where we are all here. We are looking at how this will impact the western province as well. But before we go there, let's listen to the Defence Secretary and also the Army Commander. This is what both of them had to say.
The Disaster Management Centre and the respective district secretariats are fully prepared to face any disaster situation that may arise. The Ministry of Defence has issued instructions to the Sri Lanka Army commanding officers of the northeastern and Wanni areas to engage with district secretariats, deputy secretaries and all the relevant government officers to prevent any damage to the people in the event of a disaster. The Disaster Management Centre is continuously in contact with the district secretariats, Sri Lanka Army Command commanding officers, senior police officers and health authorities to minimize the damages from Cyclone Burevi and provide relief to anyone affected immediately.
අවශ්‍ය දේ ලබා දීලා තියෙනවා.
ඉතින් මේ වන විට විශේෂයෙන්ම ආරක්ෂක සේනා අධ්‍යාපතිතුමා යටතේ මේ සඳහා විශේෂයෙන්ම
This matter was discussed with the district secretary this morning with the commanding officer of Vanya. The tri-forces, together with the district secretaries of the security forces, are prepared to protect the general public and prevent any damages to the people in the event of a disaster.
ත්‍රිවිධ හමුදාව පොලිසිය ප්‍රමුඛ ආරක්ෂක හමුදාවන් රජයේ සම්බන්ධ දිසාපතිවරුන් සමග සමගිව එකතු වෙලා අපි ඒ දේ අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම කටයුතු කරනවා.
With Cyclone Burevi making landfall from the northeastern province, the north and the east seem to be facing the brunt of the storm at the moment, and throughout the day there have been various actions carried out in these two provinces and as well as the north central province with regard to disaster preparedness in these two areas. But we'll have a look at the situation in the north and the east now. Intermittent rainfall was experienced from morning in the north and the east owing to the cyclonic condition. Our correspondents reported that the sea area in the east coast was rough. A total of 75,000 people are currently being evacuated to safer locations as the eastern province braces the cyclone Burevi. According to the Trincomalee district secretary, these people will be evacuated to 237 relief centres.
මේ වන විට ප්‍රාදේශීය ලේකම් කොට්ටාස 11ක කඳවුරු 237ක්.
We have set up 237 temporary shelters across 11 divisional secretariats. We can accommodate 21,280 families and approximately 70,000 people at these facilities. We were informed that 279 families had arrived at these shelters by 5 p.m. We request families living in vulnerable areas to move towards these shelters to assist our operations. The tri-forces, police, provincial councils and other state officials have made arrangements to provide the necessary facilities.
සහාය අරගෙන රජයේ අනෙක් ආයතන වල සහාය අරගෙන දකුණු පළාත් සභාවේ සහාය අරගෙන අපි සූදානම් කරලා තිනවා.
Meanwhile, people living in the Trincomalee coastal line were seen taking steps to save their houses from the cyclone. Fishermen in the Tondanara Akkare areas did not engage in fishing activities as strong winds were experienced. Our correspondent said a fisherman had gone missing in the Pannale area in Jaffna last night. Minor floods were reported in several parts of the Jaffna district owing to the intermittent rainfall experienced in the area. Our correspondent said people belonging to 25 families were directed to safer locations.
The operations centre at the district secretariat is active 24 hours. Officers of the Sri Lanka Army, Navy, Police and the Disaster Management Centre are here. We have been requesting the fishing communities to refrain from setting out to sea from the 30th of last month. We urge them to remain vigilant until the situation returns to normalcy.
Uprooted trees owing to strong winds were witnessed in the Uniyamkulam, Konaviland area and other areas in the Kilinochchi district. Our correspondent said a group of people who have been evacuated from the homes are seeking shelter at the Konaville Community Hall. Mullaitivu District Disaster Management Centre said plans are afoot to evacuate 135 families living in the coastal area of Mohottuwarama. Trees fell on the Mullaitivu, Mullivaikal and Puliyankulam main roads, disrupting vehicular movement along the routes. Our correspondent said heavy rainfall was experienced in the Mana district as well.
We deployed around 5 vehicles in the morning to find out how to avoid risky areas in the district. We have informed those living in temporary shelters to move to safer locations via the Grama Seva officers. We have also informed those living close to trees on the verge to collapse to move to safer locations. We have deployed police teams in several parts as well. We have informed Grama Seva officers to distribute food to those with shortcomings. We have also informed the Northern Province Governor to close down schools in the Vavuniya district tomorrow and the day after.
අත්‍යවශ්‍ය ආහාර ද්‍රව්‍ය සියල්ලක්ම පාහේ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ දැනට ප්‍රමාණවත් පරිදි තියෙනවා.
That being the situation in the north and the eastern province, now let me draw your attention to the western province and what's going to happen around the western province as a result of the Burevi cyclone entering the island. Now, from the Met Department, the latest information reveals that there will be very strong gusty winds of between 80 kilometers per hour to 100 kilometers per hour affecting the western province at times, and very strong gusty winds of 60 kilometers to 70 kilometers tomorrow, that is the 3rd of December, and strong and gusty winds leading up to the 4th of December. However, there will be rainfall experienced in the western province throughout the day today and tomorrow as well. That is what the Met Department has announced thus far. To get an understanding of the current situation in Colombo, we sent out our friend David Paldano to inspect the situation and report to us. David is here to bring us the latest. David?
Now I'm here in Colombo 2 in Braybrook Place, where the winds here is actually increasing as we speak right now. Now, just a while ago, it was raining heavily here, in fact, to the point where some parts of the streets here were actually inundated to the point where you couldn't even walk through. It was flooded to that much of an amount. Now, it should be noted that Cyclone Burevi is about to make landfall in the eastern part of Sri Lanka, bringing it even more stronger winds, which the Met Department says is going to range between 80 kilometers per hour to 100 kilometers per hour and bring rain of up to 200 millimeters in Sri Lanka as well. Now, as a result of this cyclonic storm, the Met Department has warned fishermen to avoid going out to sea in order to perform their daily fishing activities. Now, stay tuned with News First as we bring you the very latest updates regarding the cyclonic storm that is passing through Sri Lanka. Stay safe and stay at home and practice all the guidelines that has been issued by the Met Department in order to minimize the damage caused to yourself and to your surrounding areas. For the News First team, I'm David Paldano.
Thank you, David, for that update. Now, we will keep you updated throughout the night in terms of what's happening with this cyclone situation and how it will impact the country. We will keep you updated on our social media platforms and on our website www.newsfirst.lk, and you can also tune in to our radio stations and keep an eye out in terms of what is happening around you with regard to the impacts that are caused by Cyclone Burevi entering the island and how it will change the weather around you. We urge you to stay safe tonight and also monitor the situation so that you can be safe throughout the day tomorrow as well. And for that, we are ready to help you by bringing you the latest information.